The world is watching as tension between Iran, Israel, and the United States continue to rise, but the message from Washington, at least official, is this: America is not at war with Iran. That's what the United States Vice President JD Vance said just one day after the United States launched its most serious military strikes yet on Iran's nuclear program. In an interview with NBC News, Vance made it very clear: the American strikes were not the beginning of a war, but a targeted warning. We are not at war with Iran. That's what he said, adding that we are at war with Iran's nuclear program. Now, that distinction is very critical. According to him, the US doesn't want to invade or overthrow the Iranian government, but it does want to stop Iran from building a nuclear bomb. Now, Vance was very careful with his words. When asked whether he could guarantee that the US strikes had completely destroyed Iran's nuclear sites, he said that he wouldn't confirm that. But he did say America has substantially delayed Iran's ability to develop a nuclear weapon. In his words, that was the main goal of the mission: to slow down Iran's nuclear race, not to start a full-blown war in the Middle East. But yes, not everybody in Washington is sending the same message. US President Donald Trump is the more aggressive. United States President Donald Trump, in more aggressive tone, posted a statement on Truth Social, claiming that the US strikes have caused monumental damage to Iran's nuclear facilities. He said that the target were hit with some of America's most powerful weapons, including the GBU-57 bunker buster bomb and Tomahawk cruise missiles, and suggested that even underground structures were destroyed. His exact words were, "Bullseye." Now, Trump also hinted at something far more controversial: the idea of regime change in Iran. He said that if Iran's leader cannot make Iran great again, then their time might be up. That goes far beyond what JD Vance has actually said, and even what their Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth have said. Pete Hegseth was very clear that this was not about removing Iran's leadership. This mission was not and has never been about regime change. That's what he stated. Now we see a different tone from inside the White House only. One side, led by JD Vance and Pete Hegseth, is calling this a strategic reset, a sharp but very controlled move to stop Iran's nuclear threat. The other, led by none other than Donald Trump, is suggesting that this might be a beginning of something bigger. Iran, for its part, isn't staying silent. President Masoud Pezeshkian hit back very strongly. He said that the US strike proves that Washington is working hand in hand with Israel in its campaign against Iran. Not long after his statement, Iran launched a massive missile attack on Israel, possibly its biggest direct assault in years. The message was direct. Iran considers both the United States and Israel as active enemies in what it calls a military campaign. What happens next could change the shape of global politics. Iran has made it very clear that it will respond to what it sees as American aggression. The United States said that it does not want a war, but its actions are being read as a provocation in Tehran. And Israel, determined to stop Iran's weapon program, is continuing its strike with American support. So, is it a war? Not officially, not yet. But as missiles fly, leaders trade threats, and powerful nations hit each other's military and nuclear sites, the line between targeted action and full-scale conflict is growing thinner by each day. What Vice President JD Vance calls a warning may be, in the eyes of the region, already be a war in the motion.